and welcome to Africa's Vision Network. Africa's Vision Network features African cultural awareness, education, economic empowerment, religion, spirituality, and other issues focusing on the African world. I am the host of the show, Princess Ayo. Our program this evening will demonstrate how we all have the power in us to achieve our purpose and to operate out of love and joy. And it's going to be really interesting. It features one of my favorite stories, The Wizard of Oz. As stated in the book, The Wondrous Wisdom of Oz, the earth and its people are progressing at a fast pace spiritually. They will come to understand and accept their personal power. Our guests are the CEO of Harmony Village and 3 young people that have participated in the program, The Magical Land of Oz, designed by Miss Harris. And you will meet the children later. We're going to have a fabulous time. I'm really happy to have you with us, Miss.
And I'm so overjoyed to be here.
Yes, it's going to be fun. I've already seen some of the rehearsals, so I know it's going to be great. Miss Antoinette Harris, CEO of Harmony Village, operates a wellness company that connects people, opportunities, and products for conscious living. This show, she will present a condensed version of the last scene of a play based on the book, The Wizard of Oz, along with several ideas that children have learned in theater programs created for Fairfax County Public School Intercession Program at Glen Forest Elementary School. They learn to tap the power within themselves by using literature, words of wisdom, music, aromatherapy, and colors as tools to assist them. Again, we're really happy to have you with us. And I know earlier you talked about, well, you whispered to me before we came on, that the children actually wrote some of the words in the play we're going to see.
They did the scripts. They watched and analyzed the video on The Wizard of Oz. We used the pop-up book that's before us, which is a beautiful book.
Yes, it is.
They read the story. They listened to the version by the stage version, The Wiz, the music to The Wiz. They looked at a junior high program where the students did The Wiz, and then they put their own production together.
Wow.
This last time we had a group, we divided them up into their interests. Some people were interested in doing the screenplay, other people were interested in doing the scenery, the costumes, the set design. So they all had a job and had to work in a group. And we taught them the principles of writing, we taught them the principles of algebra and geometry in order to make the staging, and they had to make a model that was flat and then a 3-dimensional model.
Now, this is all part of a program called Harmony Village?
Yeah, I put it under
Harmony
Village because Harmony Village is to bring balance. And we are so out of balance as African Americans. We have so many pressures on us. So my objective was to give children tools that when they were under pressure that they could use to alleviate the pressure. And the power is all in us. It's not on the outside. So using the story of Dorothy to show that, and then giving them tools like being able to be quiet, to listen to music that would quiet them down, looking through lenses that would bring the brightness in their life, and using aromatherapy if they need to brighten themselves up, jasmine, if they need to calm themselves down, lavender. And therefore, they could feel that they could be in charge of any situation. And we taught them the Native American Toltec peoples 4 agreements. And the children would talk about those agreements. They're very succinct, very basic, and all people can understand them. And when you use those 4 agreements to guide your life, then you know that you can move on to be in a positive mode.
Now this is great, because do the kids then use this at home?
Yes, they come back and tell me that, you know, my mother got on my nerves, so I took my lavender and went and laid on my bed.
Wow.
Or they'll say, well, my brother, he takes everything personally. That's one of the 4 agreements, don't take it personally. And so she said, well, it's not about anybody else, it's all about him. So you see them actually using that, or actually coming back and telling you what they have tried. And maybe they don't stick with it, but it is in their mind, it's in their consciousness. So I know that somewhere down the line they will pull it up again and again, and that it will become a tool.
Sure.
And we also talk about diet. Now they don't want to hear that. First thing is the sugar. Well, they understand that's at the top of the pyramid.
Yes.
But we talk about the very basic thing, water. If you hydrate yourself, you drink enough water every day, then you move the toxins out of your body. So they got that very quickly. So I hope this will just be the beginning, and the parents will see some changes, and everything is slow. And we do have people that may have backslide a little bit, but it's always another opportunity for them to take another step forward.
How long have you been doing this?
Actually, I've been doing it 2 years.
Okay.
I started off with working by myself. Then I met a comrade, Robin Roberts, who is excellent at teaching math and excellent at doing costuming. So we decided to team teach, and that I did the drama part and the writing part, the English part. She did the math, and we put it together. And then we do this last time we did a whole production. Before, the kids would do a segment. And then after they did a segment that they liked, then it would just stop. But we decided to put on the whole play, so the kids revised the scripts and kept the notebook and did all the work.
That's amazing. And you have it at this Fairfax school?
Glen Forest, yeah.
And anybody can come? Any kids?
No, it's an intercession program. That's a year-round school. So when they have a break for 2 weeks, we did this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks, the kids have to keep working on their academics or doing something to engage their mind. So we came up with the Wonderful Land of Oz. And some kids have been through it twice, and they love it so that they come back again. It's only designed for Fairfax County, but we're thinking of doing a camp this summer.
That would be
to
nice.
open it up for other kids around the area to do the drama and also do the wellness part, to teach them to tap the power within.
So important. And we're not going to waste any more time, because I'm so excited that we're going to be able to see the children act this out. I'm excited that they wrote it themselves. I think that's so thrilling for them to realize their own creativity. So without further ado, we're going to show you the Wizard of Oz castle. That's what you're going to see when we come back on. And Dorothy has completed the task of bringing the broom, if you remember the story, that belonged to the Wicked Witch of the West. And that's where the story will begin. Stay tuned.
I've got the broom, I've got the broom. I've come to claim my promises.
What promises?
You know, to send me back to Kansas, to give Tin Man a heart, Scarecrow a brain, and finally, Lion some courage.
Okay. But you'll have to come back tomorrow.
You have to keep your promises to all of us.
I am Oz, great and terrible. No, I am just a common man. A good man, but a very bad wizard. And I can do better than give Scarecrow a brain. Here's a certificate to say that he's a master of knowledge. And for the lion's courage, a potion made of mustard seed tonic to give him courage, and topaz stone to clear his lack of confidence. And for the Tin Man, I don't think he needs a heart, because hearts always get broken. But still, I have a very fine heart in this bag.
Okay, well, what about me?
Oh yes, I believe the balloon that brought me here should take you back, and it is right over there. Come on, Dorothy.
Toto, come back.
Dorothy, you must come now. The rope is loose. We're going up in the air.
I must get Toto. Oh no, I'll never get home. The balloon was my only way to go back to Kansas.
Glenda will help you.
Who is Glenda?
I am Glenda.
Oh, you. Why didn't you tell me how to get home in the first place?
You had the power to go home the whole time.
What do I do?
You click your heels 3 times and say, "There's no place like home."
Okay, this is too wonderful to believe. Goodbye. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
There's always another way the story could have been written if Dorothy and the wizard used different tools to conduct their life. One of these different tools are called the Four Agreements. These Four Agreements come from the ancient Toltec Native Americans that lived from Mexico. The first one is be impeccable with your word. Never gossip. The second one is never make assumptions. The third one is don't take anything personally. If someone says something about you, remember, it is never about you. It is about them. And the last one is always do your best. You can be sick today. Your best is 50%. Dorothy. What could you have done to change how you ended up in life?
Don't make assumptions. I shouldn't have assumed that Aunt Em and Uncle Henry didn't care about me.
Wizard? What could you have done?
If I was impeccable with my words, I always told tall tales, and that's how I got my story in Oz.
Another tool that could have been used is the Healing Foods Pyramid. It helps you make better choices. Let's see what we need every day. Water.
What kind of water?
The water should be filtered.
Why?
This helps prevent fatigue and memory loss. It also eliminates toxins from the body.
So both of the characters could have made better choices. By using the healing power of water to change your future, use the tools to balance
Mind, body, and spirit.
mind, spirit, and body.
Remember, stay in balance. 3, 2, 1. Stay in balance.
You children were wonderful. That was fabulous. And you're very attractive children. And I hear you're from the same family. Is that true? It shows. Now, first I want you to introduce yourselves. And one by one, tell me your name and the part you played. And point to it on the star on the board when you're telling us. Let's start from this gentleman over here.
My name is Jason Maxwell, and I played the Wizard of Oz.
Cool.
My name is Khadija Mustafa, and I played Dorothy.
My name is Saban Mustafa, and I play Glenda.
Wonderful. It was great. What grades are you in?
I am in 4th grade.
I'm in the 7th grade.
Now I'm in 4th grade.
4th grade. 4th grade together? Oh my goodness. And in plays and after-school programs together. Now, how long did it take for you to learn the parts that you played?
Well, me as the wizard, it took me 2 weeks to learn the play and all the creation of it.
Wow. Khadija?
It didn't take me a lot, really long. It wasn't that hard.
Cool. Saba?
It took me about, I'd say, a few days.
Was it hard? Was you to learn it?
Well, it was pretty hard for me because there were a lot of words I had to memorize, and some of them I couldn't get them down that way.
Anybody else have difficulty doing it? Now, what do you think? Now, I don't want you to answer. It's nice. What do you think about the Harmony Village that you're a part of?
I think it sort of calmed me down a little bit, and it was pretty good.
Cool. Anybody else?
I think it shows you a better way to approach life than some people do.
That's good.
I think it helped me with the problems I had.
Really? That is excellent.
And I didn't pay them.
I'm very impressed.
that on
I'm very impressed with these answers.
Although I did tell them they may have to walk home if they don't come up
If
with
they
the
don't
right
say
answer.
the right thing. Now, Ms. Harris, tell us more about the process and how they got to this place.
Well, the process was that we were doing instruction. We were aiming at teaching skills through a thematic unit. And so the children had to be integral part of all the components of doing the play. So we started them off with what is called a storyboard. And I have a sample of a notebook where they would put the ideas about the scenes down, and then we'd go through and we would correct the storyboard and cross out things, and then they would correct it. Then the next step from the storyboard was to go to creating a script. And they would create the script, and then we would edit the script, and then we would go through reading the script, and then we re-edit the script. So children really saw that when you write something, you're not finished. In fact, you're never finished. That you go through it, look at it again, you add something to it, you take something away. So it was a real lesson in learning. And then we had to make their own invitations. And they were quite creative. One of the mistakes I made was giving them too many materials. And as you see, we have an invitation with things all over the place, on the back and on the front.
Exciting. I love
So they made their invitation, and they invited either a teacher or their family, and then they had to make the inside to write what was going on, where it was going to occur, and then they took it home. So that was another component. Then it came down to the costuming. And with the costuming, we had the students design what they thought the characters would look like. And here's one of the great designs that a student came up with for the Scarecrow. So they did a flat design of the Scarecrow, and I didn't bring the model that they had to make a three-dimensional model. But from this flat design, they had to make a model of it. And then they did the scenery, and the scenery was another component. This group scene was basically the Yellow Brick Road. So they did the design of the Yellow Brick Road. And from the design, then we got the materials. And then they had to build the design. And they had to use our math teacher, Mrs. Roberts, was very, very precise. They had to draw those lines precisely correct, and they had to be even.
So that incorporated the math part
That
of the
incorporated the math. And then we had the geometric designs that they had to use. We built houses, we built a castle, and we couldn't bring any of those things in the studio because it would have been entirely too much. In fact, it was a little too much for us.
But I love the hat, though.
Oh, yes. And then the hat, the other kind of costumes that we picked up from the dollar store. You can find marvelous things from the dollar store. So this is a dollar store bargain,
Perfect wizard
as
hat.
is Miss Glenda's earrings, her fashion earrings, her wand, and her queen crown.
Yeah.
And Miss Dorothy we went highbrow with her. We had a problem with the shoes, finding the right shoes for Dorothy. So we decided that Dorothy would have to be like Cinderella, have to be size 5 to fit in those shoes. And my poor little friend Khadisha just almost didn't make it. She is a size 5. And so she made it to fit the shoes, so she got the part.
Those are perfect shoes.
And they were perfect. And then the designing of the costume was under Mrs. Roberts' tutelage. So she had some students, one year they made their masks, they used a sewing machine. This year, this semester, when we did the intercession, we concentrated on the acting because we found that students do not get enough practice in their classrooms to speak and to act, and they don't have auditorium. Now that tells you how old I am.
Yes.
Auditorium, where you went to auditorium and you learned how to speak, and you did plays and parts. So we thought it was very important to work with them with their speaking parts. And we combined the scripts this last semester, and we spent a whole week working on the speaking parts. And they did very well with that. And next semester when we do it, we won't have to do the scripts anymore. The scripts will be intact. We're going to start, or this summer, when we have the summer program, we're going to start right off with building the sets. And right off with the actors and actress doing their scripts, so that we will have enough ample time that they can get all the inflections with the acting, the movement, the voices, and everything to flow together. But I have found that every session we've had that the children did a marvelous job, because they started, it was just like making a cake, baking it from scratch. We made one cake, it was this high, then the next time we made it a little higher, and then the next time we almost had a castle on top. So we're going for Broadway now.
Yes, and that you see how this affected their lives. That shows the power of art, which is being taken out of the schools so much, and music and everything, and yet how powerful it is in their lives and changing their lives.
Yes, and how they go home, and it changes the family.
Yes.
I incorporate the diet in talking to them about eating properly, that when you fuel your body with junk, then you're going to have junk coming out of you. So that is very important for you to fuel your body with better things. Now, I know they don't pay attention all the time, but it's a seed that's planted, and it's the back of their mind. And I even gave them the supermarket shopping brochure from Whole Foods, where you can go to any supermarket and they have the things, and you're to pay attention to the labels. You're to pay attention to the sugar. You're to pay attention to the salt. So all of those things are very important, that you're not putting chemicals in the body. And I taught them about the whites. No white sugar, no white flour, no white salt.
And this is good for them to take home. And I bet you they can, you know, these children are probably teaching their mother, but other children will be teaching their mothers and friends. And
and they talk about that. I had one student that came in one day, he said, "Oh, Miss Harris," he said, "those Cheetos, I know they're bad, but I love those Cheetos." So I said, well, you're allowed. Eventually you'll know that you can replace it with something else. So there are many things that we can do to expand upon this, with going to a supermarket, substituting the things that you like with something better. And we started with water, and understanding water is an integral part of our need for our bodies.
Right. Now, you have some things there to do with
Oh, yes, I have
aromatherapy.
A little aromatherapy.
Did you all like that part, the aromatherapy part of it?
Well,
did you get it? Did you know, understand it?
Aromatherapy, this is lavender. And what lavender does is relax you.
Yes.
So
Wonderful.
I would give it to the kids, and I would say, and we made little pouches, and they took them home. When you get uptight, when your parents might be getting on your last nerve, just take your little lavender bag.
Now, I understand the girls doing that, but how do the guys take that?
Oh, they didn't mind. because it did calm them down. Children know
They saw
what they
how it
need.
worked.
And when they find what works with them, they appreciate it. We talked about the lavender. We talked about some people need to lift their spirits, and I had jasmine. And so they decided which one they would do. And they kept a portfolio. They put that information in their portfolio. So later on, they could go ahead and they could find those things themselves. And then we talked about colors and the colors that help you to feel better. We all have different colors
Yes.
that help us. And whatever
do.
color is for you is specifically for you. Everything is designed. We're all individuals. We're like snowflakes. And every snowflake is different. So that when you find the right thing to put on you, it's for you and nobody else. And so we had some glasses that we put on.
We do, and me too.
Yes.
And I chose my orange.
So
And
we're
I'm
gonna
smiling already.
put on our glasses and see how we feel.
Oh, let me put mine on. Oh, wonderful. I love my color.
Yes.
Oh, wait, yours are different.
Oh yeah, our Khadijah and I, we have the glasses to bring joy to other
Oh,
people.
they are quite funny.
So we have to show you how we bring joy.
Yes.
We're gonna flick our switch.
Oh, for goodness sake.
And this brings joy to everyone else.
Do you all feel happier now?
All of this makes us happy.
It really is. I mean, I teach adults. That's the job I have outside of here. And I bring toys like this to the classroom. And you see gray-haired men, you know, really loosening up with this kind of thing. It really works.
Yes, it does work. It works for everybody. And it
fun.
will work with families. And the children go home and talk to their parents. And the parents, you know, I'm sure they listen and they try some of the things
Absolutely.
that they want, that they have experienced in school. I think it's real learning that it can be applied immediately, and they see the purpose. They see the purpose for writing. They see the purpose for math. They see this purpose for speaking. And some kids have found their niche. We have budding actresses and actors in the midst of us that they didn't know.
I'm sure.
So what we want to leave with you is that we're all going to stay in joy,
In
love, in peace, and in balance.
Oh, we appreciated it. I know my audience does too. Thank you for being our guest this evening, everybody.
Thank
it was
you.
so great for you to share your knowledge and wisdom with us. And thank you, my audience, for being with us and being attentive today. I'm sure you enjoyed yourself, and I know you learned something and took something away. And I'm glad you were able to be with us this evening. Stay tuned for the next time we bring you an exciting show on Africa's Vision Network.